Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am your girl Brittany, hey, aka BC Starks, aka your manifesting mentor, and I help women and men get unstuck, break old patterns and limiting beliefs that no longer serve them, and intentionally align with the life that they deserve and they desire. Ooh, I'm getting better at this. I hopped on today because I wanted to address a question that was posted to one of my YouTube shorts. I actually did a short on, let's see, what was the topic? It was talking about repetition being the key to programming new beliefs. And if you did not see that short, I'll just give you the gist. So I talked about how repetition is the key to reprogramming new beliefs because repetition is how we learn as human beings. And it is how we pretty much gathered and developed our personalities. And so the person asked a question, and I think this person is actually a new subscriber. And so if you're also new, welcome. I appreciate your presence. If you are here, it's because you resonate with what I am sharing, and I resonate with you. I truly believe in that. And so let's see, I'm trying to pull up the question. So this person wrote a question on my video, and it was a pretty simple question. But when I responded, I actually ended up writing a nice little paragraph, and I figured it renders me just hopping on and doing a video about it. Now, I will say that I don't think that my way is the only way. My particular response to this person's question is very subjective to me. I believe in demonstrating and experiencing it for myself. And so this is just my perspective. And if it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Because I truly believe that, you always have to do what's best for you and do what resonates with you. So this person asked, how often or how much affirmations should we work on at a time? How many affirmations or how much affirmations should we work on at a time? And as I wrote them back, I'll just share what I said. So I said that my rule of thumb is not to exhaust myself, right? Because there's so many factors that we may want to change in our realities, right? And you can't get it all done in a day, and you can't get it all done um, like in a short amount of time, right? Like that's the whole purpose of the journey. Is the unfolding. It's the time factor that exists in this part of reality, 3D. Um, that things should be practiced. That's the whole purpose of the video that I did. It's about repetition. So the person was saying, how many affirmations should I work on at a time? For me, I work on affirmations as I have thoughts about particular subjects. So it's a natural thing. I try not to exhaust myself with information overload. For example, if I'm naturally going throughout my day and I think about a topic that I'm desiring to shift, then I will observe my thoughts on that subject to see if there's any negative attachment or negative emotions. Um, if I find that my thoughts or emotions are leaning on the negative side, then I'll affirm for my desired thoughts instead. And that's what you want to persist in. You want to repeat whenever that topic comes up. If you're leaning on the negative, you want to affirm for the opposite of that, which is your desired thoughts, right? And so for me, anytime the subject naturally crosses my mind, I'll do this. But keep in mind, you also need to have like healthy routines for yourself throughout your day so that you're not just sitting around idle each day, because then you'll just be thinking about the subject all day long. And you don't want to do that, because you should have a life. You have a life outside of whatever the topic is, whatever that subject is. You have an entire life surrounding that. That's just one area of your life. And so you got to zoom out and gain perspective that even though this topic may be important to you, it's not your entire life. It's a portion of your life. And most times it's a very small portion, but we magnify it because we're so attached to it that it seems so major. But I would challenge that and say that, you want to have healthy routines in place that make you feel good, that make you remember that you do have a life and you do have people in your life that you may care about and you might want to connect with them. You want to do things for yourself that um, put you in a good state. Like for me, it's exercising. I have a journaling routine, which I talked about in my podcast. You can check out my video on that. I also have, you know, hobbies. I make sure that I tap in with people that I love and care about. I'll, do my rounds and make phone calls and send text messages um and it's just those simple things that you do that fill your day up, right? Obviously I also work a 9 to 5, so I'm sure you probably have a job or you're an entrepreneur and you have things that take up your day. So you're not just sitting around idly thinking about whatever that subject is. So you don't have to constantly be like, oh my God, I didn't say my affirmations 10 times today. I'm failing. Like, that's not how this works. It's all about naturalness. So you don't want it to be forced. You want to do the affirmations as it feels natural, as it comes up naturally. Um, and so, what else did I say? I think I was sharing that if you're thinking of the subject all day long because you probably haven't created routines for yourself, then that may be a sign that you may be too attached to whatever that subject is. So you might want to practice detachment. um, and that's easier said than done, but there are videos across YouTube that can be helpful, like tools and techniques for practicing detachment. Because you're on my channel, I'm going to share with you something that I use that's actually from Neville Goddard, and it's his ladder technique. He talks about this whole technique of not telling yourself you're not going to climb a ladder. And I do this. I think I talk about it. No, I actually didn't talk about it. So this is the first time I'll talk about it. The ladder technique is pretty much telling yourself you're not going to do something or you don't want something that you actually want, right? And the trick is you're tricking your subconscious into thinking you don't need it. And so you can do this in a journal. What you do is you take whatever your desire is. If it's, you need to manifest X amount of dollars by Tuesday, you say something like, I do not need X amount of dollars by Tuesday because I already have it. Um, I have no resistance or attachment to attracting X amount of dollars by Tuesday because the need has already been filled. I have no desire or attachment to it because I'm already content. My needs have already been met. And then you want to put yourself in the state of what it feels like if you already have it. Even if I don't manifest this X amount of dollars by Tuesday, I'd still be okay because I'm a powerful creator and things always come to me easily and freely, right? Like these are statements that you would make up for whatever your situation is, but you repeatedly write that statement a number of times. I pick a number 9 times, right? That repetition of you saying that statement, putting yourself in the state of not needing it. I do not want this thing because I already have it. Even if I didn't get it, I would still feel content because I already feel fulfilled. I already feel whole and complete. That repetition is tricking your subconscious mind into feeling less needy for it. And now your actual circumstance may still require it, but emotionally you're not attached to it. That is a beautiful detachment technique that you can use. Look up the ladder technique and then apply it to whatever your situation is. Um, there's a YouTuber, Elmer OJ Locker or something like that. I think his name is Elmer OJ Locker. He teaches a lot about Neville Goddard's techniques, and he talks about the ladder technique. So watch that video; it's pretty cool. And I think he did the Nicholas Tesla technique of 369 paired with Neville Goddard's technique. That's why I came up with that number 9. But check it out; it's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share about that. And that led me to actually going back to one of the excerpts that I read from Neville's um, Awakened Imagination and the Search is one of his books. And it was like chapter 5. And it goes back to the lesson of repetition. So, repetition, why is repetition so important? Here's why, in Neville's own words. We must match ourselves to our ideals by constantly remembering our aim and identifying ourselves with that aim. We fuse our aims by frequently occupying the feeling of our wish fulfilled. It is the frequency, the habitual occupancy, that is the secret of success. Frequency, guys, repetition, constantly going back. No matter how many times you fall off the wagon, no matter how many times you have intrusive thoughts and emotions, you can be the observer, and then return to your affirmations. But let it be natural. It doesn't have to be a forced process. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I'm thinking intrusive thoughts. Let me just, I'm not getting what I want. Like, you've been the way that you've been, because you conditioned yourself to be that way. Your environment has conditioned you to be that way. But the thing about being a human is that we can recondition ourselves. And so, as Dr. Joe Dispenza always says, your personality is what creates your personal reality. And your personality is made up of thoughts and emotions that have been practiced, that are habits, right? And that is what creates your personal reality. Well, if you shift your personal reality, you have to shift your personality, which means you'd have to shift your core beliefs. Some of those beliefs that are getting in the way, that have kept you in certain cycles and experiencing certain patterns, you can change that through repetition. And as Neville says, it's about the frequency, the habitual occupancy of the wish fulfilled. That is the secret. He also says the oftener we do it, the repetition of it, the oftener we do it, the more natural it is. This is why I say I don't force it. I don't want it to be overwhelming or to feel exhausted. I will drop the subject, go on and do something that's part of my routine that keeps me feeling good about myself, feeling good in my life, feeling connected to the people that I love and care about, um, feeling like I'm fulfilling my purpose by sharing my gifts, such as this channel. This brings me joy. And so I'm not sitting around thinking about the problems of my life all day, because my day is filled with things that are sustaining me, you know. And so as you continue to do that, you'll realize, Neville says, fancy assembles, but continuous imagination is what fuses. That's what makes this process real. The repetition, the frequency. And so, how often should you affirm? As often as it feels natural, as you naturally observe your patterns, as you naturally observe your story, and you recognize through your awareness that, hey, this thought is what got me in this cycle. I don't need to be that anymore. This emotion is what got me in this cycle, is what I've been practicing. That's no longer who I am. And then affirm for what you want to be true, for what you choose to have as your new core belief. And then repeat that as you need to, as those intrusive thoughts come up, or as you think on the subject, remind yourself. That's the frequency. Remind yourself of what you're doing. I hope that this was helpful. I did think that it rendered a video because I thought the question was a good question. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. Some people may say affirm all day. That's not how I do it. And I don't knock anybody's opinion. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel natural for me. If it feels natural for you, do you. But if it doesn't, that's okay. And maybe you can identify with how I see it. And that's probably why you're here. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you needed any additional help with some of these techniques or tools that I'm talking about, I have an intentional creation course, and the link is in the description. You can check it out and see if it resonates with you. As I said, I am someone who likes to be a doer of the word. I like to demonstrate, and I like to prove to myself that what I am into is actually real. And how do I do that? By demonstrating it, by practicing it. Some of the things that I talk about on this channel, I love Law of Assumption and Neville Goddard, but I also love quantum physics, and I love practical things, not just the esoteric. And so I pair all of these things and I use my tools, as I call them, to help me through my journey. And I hop on this channel and I share how these things are helping me in my journey, and in hopes that it resonates, or with the intention that it resonates with whoever comes across this video. And if it resonates with you, or it resonates with someone that you know, feel free to share, check it out. I am here, your manifesting mentor, which means that you're going to learn through me, through my experience. And I'm just here to remind you of what you got going on. I'm here to remind you that you are a powerful creator and you have the ability to design life on your terms. And how am I reminding you? Through my own demonstration, through my own proving to myself that what I am sharing with you is true by doing it, demonstrating, using the tools, and sharing feedback. And that's what it's all about. So thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, happy Saturday.